Welcome back, guys. This is Thomas, and today we are looking at this Batman Year 2 from McFarlane DC Multiverse. Welcome back, guys, and a few videos ago I did kind of my opinion on what I thought the future of McFarlane DC going to Mattel would be, and I talked about some of the things that annoyed me about McFarlane, but here I am still buying McFarlane toys. So there's still some figures coming out that I'm really excited for. Connor Hawk is one that I am definitely excited for. Other than that, I mentioned in the last video I want a Poison Ivy, but I really wasn't looking for another Batman. But this one came out, and I felt inclined to get it. Now this Batman, if you're not familiar with, there was Batman Year 1, and I guess you can kind of say this was the sequel to it. I don't think it was written by Frank Miller, but I remember this was just my first graphic novel I ever had. My dad was dating someone at the time, and her kids were too old for comics, and they gave us the graphic novel of Batman Year 2. So I remember eating it up. And what made it really different is kind of something you can see here. There's a gun. On the cover was Batman holding a gun. And I think at the time, let's just say 1995, I got my hands on that book. Even then, I knew as a 7-8-year-old kid, Batman's not supposed to have a gun. So it was always really intriguing. Never knew why until I read that book. It was really strange. And even nowadays, if I think back to the storyline of this comic, I still don't know why they went that direction and gave him a gun. Either way, we'll talk about some of the history as we go into it. But this is a figure I did not need, because you can technically kind of kit bash another Batman that you have and turn it into the Batman Year 2 Batman. But I like the horns, I like the cape, I like the accessories, so whatever, I bought it. And this is one of the figures that I wish I got the other version for, because he has that classic light blue costume, not black. This one's black with the blue shading, and we'll get into that, but I wasn't going to stress about getting the other version. Of course, McFarlane makes the 1 out of 10 variant the one that we want. The one that is featured on the artwork. Just make the one that everyone wants, the easier one to get. This one, it's cool, but it's not what we see here. So that's kind of annoying. Getting Batman out of the box, there's definitely things I like, and there are some glaring things that I don't like. The first thing I don't like is that you have this molded plastic cape. It's kind of like a rubber vinyl material. But he is super back heavy, so good luck standing him up without any assistance, because as soon as I let go of his feet, he's going down. So that's a big problem right there. I'm sure once I start getting him in some poses, it won't be hard to kind of get him to stand. So you see, sometimes what I do with the figure, like the Asbats, I'll kind of bend them so that looks like they're standing, but really it's just the weight of the figure leaning on the cape. That works, but if you just wanted this Batman to stand in a vanilla pose, I think you'd be hard-pressed to do so. Or either that, or it's just me. So I don't know. Maybe if I lean him all the way forward, counterbalance that. No. So this guy will not stand up. I really wish this would have been a vinyl cape. A soft goods cape, for a few reasons. But let's talk about what I do like about it. I like the style. Like, the style is really cool with the points here. It is that nice material. So it does have a cool design. I wish this was not attached, because I would love to take this holder off and put it on a different Batman that more closely resembles the Year 2 Batman. This one, he's just massive. So this is Batman Year 2, and then here is what I would say is my quintessential Batman. This one's yoked. He's just huge. So even compared to a character of the same size, he's humongous. So yeah, not cool with that. But I would have loved to take in that holster and put it on this Batman. I think that would have been super cool. Unfortunately, because the holster, these are glued on, it goes through here and then around the other side. So that looks like it's glued. I don't think you can take this off. Yeah, so that's glued in. If I wanted to take it out and heat it up and then glue it back in, I'm sure I could. I just don't feel like messing with it. So other design features I do like, the cell shading is cool, but again, would have been nice to get a blue base with some black cell shading. I would have preferred that, but he does have it on his horns a little bit, the eyebrows. I do like the angry expression. I think that came out pretty cool. Some blue on the inside. Again, just could have made that reversed. And then you got some cell shading on the spikes and the hand, the gauntlets, trunks, and the boots and shoes. So, kind of cool, but not exactly what I would have wanted. So, and he's really big. I don't know why this guy's so big. But he does come with some clawed hands out of the box, which is pretty cool. He does come with some extra hands that we'll show in a bit. I don't think articulation is going to be any different than most McFarlane. He's not getting anywhere that way. He can do that. Does have a ball joint at the head and some extra movement in the neck, but other than that, arms and legs are the same. There are some butterflies, but it's like those discs. So I mean, that's as far as you're getting Batman to go forward. So nothing special there. Get some splits up that way, not too impressive. And then, double jointed knees, not bad. So really it's just gonna be, how do you pose this guy, if you didn't want to have him on a stand, and give him that extra support, because I'm holding him down by his feet. This guy's gonna keep falling if I don't do something about it. Let me see if I move his feet forward, back. Yeah, this guy. Oh, I think I got it. Boom. So, yeah, I just have to mess with the ankles a little bit, but still really top heavy. An impressive looking figure, and definitely impressive in size comparison compared to this guy. You can see he definitely, and it's not just the horns. Like, he has a shoulder up on him. So, either way, he does come with some cool stuff. Get the normal stuff out of the way, the stand. The trading card, which of course is actually pretty cool this time with the kind of shiny parts, and getting it out of the package, I scratched it. So this is the one card I probably would have liked to kept pretty good, but I did not. It does come with a fisted hand, again with the cell shading, and then he does come with an open hand, which I'm assuming is for the gun. And this gun, there's nothing special about it. And what happened to McFarlane not putting guns in figures? That Gordon figure that was supposed to go up for pre-order that never did. That one comes with a revolver too. So yeah, I guess that whole thing is done. So it's a pretty basic gun. I wonder in that accessory pack I just bought if there is one that looks better. So let me check that out. Yeah, I guess there's nothing in here that closely resembles like a 45. I mean, I don't know. Is that what that's called? 9mm? I don't know. Don't know my guns. Maybe these two guns, those look better for Gordon if I was to ever get him, hopefully. You're not too familiar with why Batman has a gun. I don't know the full details because it's been a long time since I read the story, but this is basically the gun that was used to shoot his parents. So I don't remember him in the story of how he obtained this gun, but he gets his butt whooped by a character named the Reaper, and that's where you get this little scythe, or whatever you call it. Anyways, there's a character called the Reaper, and if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm not making this up, I think the Reaper is what inspired the Phantasm in Mask of the Phantasm. I think they took elements of Year 2, put it into the animated movie Mask of the Phantasm, and created their own story, but there was some inspiration there. That's why you see the character Phantasm has that arm gauntlet with the blade. So Batman does wield this in Year 2. So pretty cool accessories that are actually just not thrown in for any reason. I mean, this is what makes it a Year 2 Batman, the pistol and the blade, whatever you want to call it. So first try, got him to stand up on one shot. So this is how he's posed on the card. So I figured I would at least try and pose him that way. And the crappy thing is that, you show him gripping the blade in his left hand, but that's not a grippy hand, so it's kind of loose in there. If I move him, that thing's going to fall out. So it would have been nice to get 2 gripping hands, one for the gun, one for the blade. So either way, this works, but definitely leaves a little bit to be desired. Yeah, another Batman to the collection. Did I need him? Probably not. Does anyone need him? I don't think so. But really, all I need to do, find a holster, put it on this Batman, and then I have my Batman Year 2. But for now, this is fine. I think this is the last McFarlane that I have pre-ordered, at least on the horizon. If I can get that Jim Gordon, I'll get him, but definitely Connor Hawke. Other than that, I'm not getting any more. And I say that now until the next review. So until then, we'll catch you next time.